The title of my film is called Salesman Blues. It's going to be a romantic comedy. The actual task is the opening to a feature-length film, so I've only planned the opening 2 minutes to it. The location I'm going to be filming in is outside lots of people's houses, in a converted garage and at a bar. It's going to be set in the present day, and the plot is going to be based around this character called Mark, and he is a door-to-door salesman who isn't very good when he's talking to girls. So then he's been single for months on end, and then he's also facing rejection from the sort of general public because of his door-to-door salesman job, where everyone's telling him to go away. And then from that, you can create it into a feature-length film of him possibly meeting a girl, or him choosing a different career, something like that. And then the other characters that are going to be in the film are 3 of his friends, which is Adam, Cameron and Dan, who's he's going to be talking to in his garage, hanging out. And his ex-girlfriend Carol is going to be in one of the scenes when there's something, when she's talking to him in the bar. The aim of the film is to evoke a feeling of sympathy from the audience for Mark's character, because he's constantly feeling the rejection from society and from the girls. So, like, some guys might identify with him, some might just sort of pity him. My target audience is going to be 12 plus, because then I think they will be more mature in the matters at hand, really. They'll start to understand where I'm coming from more than younger audiences. The audience appeal will be the main character is a nice guy. He's just quite anxious when talking to people outside of the job. And the unique selling point is it's a new take on, or a new look on salesmen. So people that come to your door or bring up your phone, so they obviously, you get really annoyed at them when it's only their job. So they're only just doing it to try and get money really, and it's not like they receive a lot of hate for it really. And that's it.
Okay. So over to you guys. Ideas, any sort of problems you see with it, or things you want clarified?
What type of humour you can have in it?
A mix really, mainly just I don't know. I've added a little sort of hints of humour. It's not mainly based on humour. If you know what I mean, it's mainly based on the opening of the storyline. But there are sort of bits that, like when he's being rejected from the houses, there are going to be people like sort of slamming doors right in his face, and or like when he's hanging out with mates, there's joking about him not being able to get a girlfriend and stuff.
Is your ending going to be like a typical rom-com, like where the boy gets a girl and stuff? Or
Yeah. Eventually, yeah. If I was to create it into a feature-length film, he would then sort of meet a girl and they sort of fall in love, and then he'd hit back up, and then they go back together.
Yeah.
Typical sort of rom-com.
Did you say that earlier on in the genre that it's rom-com?
Yeah.
Right. So it's not social realist.
No, it's more just for entertainment purposes rather than anything.
Right. Any influential films?
Yeah, there's a couple. We've got Silver Linings Playbook, which is a romantic comedy about a guy who has bipolar disorder. So he has his own issues as well as the relationship, which obviously Mark has his own issues with his job and stuff. A film called It's Kind of a Funny Story, which is about a kid who suffers from depression, but then goes into a psychiatric ward and falls in love with a girl in the sort of psychiatric ward, which again, he has his own issues, but then it also becomes quite funny and it becomes romance.
What about the cast for this? Sounds like it could be quite a sort of a large cast.
I'm playing Mark, and then I've got a load of people sort of coming in to sort of play the homeowners and his friends. I've spoken to people on Facebook and I've created a Facebook page and got people sort of links and stuff. So I'm not sure who's going to play who yet. I need to speak to them on preferences and stuff.
So there's not going to be any sort of problems with turning up on people's doorsteps and knocking on to random doors.
Yeah, no.
You are everybody's going to be sort of prepared for that.
Yeah.
Okay. What else I'll say to you? Titles. So what about this title sequence? So what are we going to see in terms of titles and how are they going to be sort of edited and so on and so forth?
Well,
and are you going to use music?
what I'm going to do is I'm going to there's a song by Foo Fighters called Walk, and I'm going to record my own version of the opening to that song because it's quite I think it relates quite a lot to the story. I've explained a lot on my blog, really big detail. And then the opening sort of scene is a montage of shots of him being sort of turned away at people's doors and stuff. And that's going to sort of hold all the different titles. So I'm going to have sort of when like a door stands his face on pop up on the door, maybe when he's sort of walking towards it, maybe he sort of steps on a title or something. And sort of I'll be playing around with it a lot.
Right, so the titles are going to be quite imaginative then.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to try to get them quite different.
Yeah. Is it going to be humorous from the start? Is he going to be one of those guys who you actually think is a bit of an idiot, a bit of a dork, or?
Yeah. I think you'd think he's a bit of a dork, yeah. And it's not going to be like loads and loads of humour, like sort of I don't know, something like Step Brothers or something. But it's going to be sort of bits of humour throughout.
So it's a bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you maybe laugh at things and then feel a bit uncomfortable with that laughing at it because you feel sorry for him at the same time. Yeah. Okay. So any other things from this?
How are you planning on making the locations like flow together? Because obviously you won't have cast members that live right next to each other.
When I'm filming or on the actual? Well, what I've done is I've spoken to lots of different people, and then I'm going to get their addresses and sort of mark them out on a map. And then on one day, I'm just going to go to each address and then film for like half an hour to an hour or something at each place.
I think what you meant was, did you have this idea that it's like in the same street?
So is you're a door-to-door salesman, obviously it would be on one street. How are you going to work out how to make the street look the same?
It's not, the montage isn't based on one day, it's based on his sort of job as in general or something, so it's going to be a montage of different clips from different doors to sort of suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about actors? In terms of quality of actors, do you think you've got people that are...
Yeah, all the speaking parts I've got quite good actors for, and then I've contacted quite a few people for just sort of opening the door and closing it, something, so they're not needed as such to be for actors.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Timescale wise, how long is the filming going to take, Jake?
The filming of the montage will be most of one day, and then each scene after that will probably be about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, because I like to play around with shots quite a lot. So if I was to do it all in, I don't know, one day after the next, would probably be 3 days, maybe.
Yeah.
But
and you've organised them by this Facebook page.
Yeah.
So you're very confident that everybody's going to be able to make it at the right times and.
Yeah. Because I'm doing it in the for a week. The week break is coming up.
Half-term break.
Yeah. So I think we should be free.
Keen, you done sort of film about somebody who's really struggling in life. Do you got any sort of ideas or?
Yeah. This character who you're portraying, like, is there any way you can actually, like, I don't know, like, what kind of meanings are you hoping to create, and how do you tend to integrate them to show to the audience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in that as well. So like the micro feature side of things and some meanings.
Like meanings and micro features.
Because presumably we're going to engage, you know, in terms of sympathy with this guy at the start.
Yeah.
So is it really from those? There's that shot, isn't there, that you were talking to me about the door in the face. So
yeah, I want to try and sort of create a feeling of closeness with the character. So a lot of the shots at the beginning will be quite close to him, and you're going to sort of see things from his perspective most of the time. And I'm going to try not to switch out of, I don't know, say, I don't want to switch over to an overshoulder shot from someone else's perspective of a situation.
So is it mainly his perspective?
Yeah, and sort of try and get it.
Do you think that you would be able to, what kind of like feelings are you trying to show from your acting?
Oh,
Does that make you feel?
his?
Yeah.
Well, it's more sort of.
Is it like sad?
It's more sort of on the outside he's fine, but then on the inside he's actually coming up that he's actually getting really down and depressed about it all.
Sounds good.
Which will sort of come about sort of later in the film.
the last film you made had some real wow moments in it, some really clever visual sort of ideas. Have you got anything spectacular that you're planning for this one, or is it going to be more straightforward?
Yeah, not so much. It's more straightforward. I'm focusing more on sort of the camera angles, so just making it interesting to watch rather than sort of putting in sort of special sort of.
A bit more like the sort of running sort of part in the first part of the last film, rather than the later sort of bits with people
like changing instead of people
smashing through walls and things.
Because obviously with the running part, if you watched it in one continuous clip, it would be very boring. But then the way I sort of put the different clips together and did different shots, it made it quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anything from you?
I'm not too sure really. I think it's all been said.
Yeah. Okay. Good.